But we'll deal with that after the intro.
Hello, buddy. Welcome back to TEW 2020. Bill is back with me,
Hello.
and we are here to do our modern run in TEW, our co-op run, where I am booking WWE and Bill is booking AEW. We are just on this screen for opening before we book the show, which we'll come back for. But before we do that, we might as well check out our backstage entrants instead of here. I think they're all Protege stuff, probably.
That is all Protege.
Yeah.
I don't even... Wait, Paul White. That one might be Wrestler's Cart. That probably is, because it's Adam Cole and Paul White.
Yeah.
So that one might matter.
Can you read that text, or you just want me to read it?
I can't even see the window. I can only see the window of the...
I had it set to show this before, and I lost it somehow. I need to, fix that completely. I'll just read it.
It would be really nice if all this stuff was considered one window.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb how this game runs, but whatever. Do I have this at all? I'll just read it for now and try to fix it at some point. Adam Cole was brought before the Wrestlers Court, accused of being absorbed by his phone when he should have been. That might be true. When he should have been paying attention to.
This is entirely believable.
The judge, Paul Wright, found him guilty and sentenced him to buy a crate of beer for the locker room. Adam Cole has the agitator personality and currently has no morale. And that gave a small positive impact to Adam Cole. This is all Protege shit. Yep. Yep, I still don't have pictures for everybody. I started off screen. I gave pictures to some people, but didn't finish it. So, and it was only my roster I got to so far, and it was only not even halfway through. So, but anyways, we will be back when AEW Dynamite is booked. So stay tuned for that. It'll only be 2 seconds on your end, but for us, it'll be a little longer. Light the fuse. Let's go. It's Dynamite time. I will click start and then let Bill take us away through the show.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means.
The pop.
I had to do that. So anyway, this episode of Dynamite opens with the always popular entrance of Better Than You, Baby. With Max and Adam Cole hamming up their entrance as much as possible. I want hamburgers. I think Ryan disappeared briefly to answer that, but anyway, continuing on. In case anyone's wondering how come they're an established team and I haven't done the tournament, Tony had 3 tournaments in July this year, and I didn't want to open my save on just booking nothing but tournaments without establishing any storylines or so going into it. So I just moved them back to June, said they happened right before I took over as booker. So Adam and Max did become a tag team. They did battle through that tournament, and they did lose to FTR. But that'll happen before this series went live, so I had time to actually get some stories going for All Out and All In August. And if you've come back from your hamburger question, Ryan, I'm ready to move on to the next segment.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent. The actual match went well, which was Better Than You, Baby, taking on Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes. I'm impressed it had good heat for, 3 guys that really haven't been on my show at all. Cole and Friedman obviously win. Cole pins Keith Lee with a last shot. That actually surprises me. I thought it was going to be Dustin eating the pin, but I'll let the computer decide. The main point here being that Max, as has been traditional with their matches, gets the heat for most of the match. Tags in Adam Cole. Adam Cole goes on to the big finish. And looks like everyone performed fairly well except for Dustin, which doesn't surprise me because this game hits Dustin really hard with the declining physical abilities.
But he is getting better at his gimmick, at least.
Yeah, it's too bad he's probably getting retired in like 6 months.
And Excalibur,
I mean,
Excalibur and
real
Taz
life
have
in
good
real life. Yeah, we knew that. In real life, Dustin said this was his last year of wrestling, and so
we'll see about that.
It's not really. Yeah, it's not really spoilers for me to say that he's intending to retire, since he's publicly stated that in real life, and I'm trying to pick up from approximately the point AEW is actually in, other than the aforementioned moving to tournaments, so I didn't book nothing but tournaments before All In.
Adam Cole finally got his win back from the NXT Great American Bash in 2020 or whatever, so that's good.
Yeah, and booking stuff I didn't even know was an issue. He also defeated his protege.
That's when Keith Lee became NXT champion from Adam Cole. From
the abortive Budge push they were going to do in WWE. And yes, I know Budge wasn't actually a thing outside of New Day, but yeah. And after the match, naturally limitless roll out of the ring, head to the back, as one does when one loses, and leave Max and Adam Cole to celebrate in the ring. Cole's up on the ropes posing, and Max is still kind of sore from fighting two pretty big guys. And the BCC pop out of the crowd and beat the shit out of him. And Cole turns around and sees it and helps Max fight them off, but it ends and Max is pretty beat up after all of this. And good, my segments are actually starting to click, because 47's not bad for a small company.
No, that's pretty good. Good show so far. Oh, and it continues.
This did better than I expected.
A woman's match, nonetheless a tag, and you did well. Look at this.
This mod maker tends to undervalue just about every woman's worker, so I'm pretty pleased with this. This is just an Outcasts versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker match, mostly just to get Jamie Hayter some reps after returning from injury. And they get 10 minutes, go over the Outcasts with a Falcon Arrow on backbreaker on Saraya, because that's a safe move to do on someone with a history of neck injuries.
Jamie taking liberties tonight.
I mean, apparently Saraya agreed to it, because she would have had to go up for it.
Yeah.
She doesn't say she sandbagged it. I wouldn't have gotten this kind of rating if she did.
Good, your storyline gained heat too.
Yeah, and Saraya worked hard on this. Oh, and that Britt Baker strong connection with the young demographic is really paying off. Yeah, that's why she's penciled in for some matches coming up.
I think you got it on Chris last episode.
Yeah, I got it on Statlander too.
I had it on somebody too, and I forget who it was.
Yeah.
I should probably remember that. That would be helpful. Yeah.
You can go back and check your card afterwards.
Good stuff. Saraya surprisingly performing really well here.
I think Saraya is probably performing better in this mod than she is in real life, because I've been unimpressed with her run in AEW so far. She's been entertaining.
WWE stats here.
Yeah, she's been entertaining on the mic and so, but the ring rust has been showing. And then we cut back to the medical center for another fantastic segment. And this is just, we go to the medical facility, the medical room in the back. Max is getting iced. He's getting all taped up. And he's feeling real down because he got Adam Cole into a fight. And Cole's got a bandage on his head from fighting with them. Presumably he got busted open in the fight after the match. And Mox went at him with the fork or something. And Max is all sad that he got dragged into it. And Cole's like, no, you're my friend. I would happily have stood up for you. And that's really all what happened here.
Friendship.
Well, I suppose the high had to end at some point. We have the Acclaimed taking on the Gun Club. And They only got 10 minutes, and they did all right. Anthony Bowens showed up in doing fairly poorly, but other than that, everything went
Bowens
fairly
should
well.
have close to a 40 normally.
Yeah,
so
because
he's the best
which probably would have given us like a 36 or 37 rated segment, which, for a lower card tag match, I'm all right. This was mostly here to cool the crowd. And good, I forgot to put Billy Gunn in that ringside, but it did put him in.
Yeah,
I was talking about wanting to go back and doing that, and then I forgot to actually do it.
Yeah, it's been using your managers like normal. I think it just means there's not like a focus on them or something. Is all that said.
Probably. Yeah. And Max pinned Austin Gunn. It didn't actually bother to even come up with a match. Max's moveset is probably not in here.
We'll just pretend it was the mic drop.
Yeah. But anyway, here we got a real stinker of a segment. Yeah, I know what went wrong here. It's that stupid thing about fighting as an match or as an angle focus.
Yeah,
you only get good angles if you do at least 5 minutes, but no one can fight for 5 minutes.
They have to be so over for you to be able to get away with it. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's a problem. But what happened was the Bucks. Christ, where's my brain? Acclaimed is celebrating in the ring after the match, and Bullet Club Gold had seen what the Blackpool Comic Club did earlier in the night, and so they thought they'd do the same thing and run out and attack Billy Gunn while everyone was distracted. So they start fighting with Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn's fighting with them, and everyone brawls to the back. And unfortunately, no one liked this segment. So we'll move on. The less said about it, the better.
Fair enough.
At least it didn't advance my storyline. Well, it advanced it. Oh, shit, it did lose heat.
Yeah,
damn
lost heat. Both
usually
lost
it puts
heat,
that at the bottom.
Your storyline's taking a toll tonight.
I wasn't expecting that storyline to stay hot. Anyway, and then we get a match to remind everyone that Swerve Strickland is still alive. Unlike Nick Wayne.
At least Andrade's getting booked.
Yeah. I mean, Andrade is a good, talent to just put in a match when you need something.
Say the line. Say the JR line. You've got it in you.
I don't know what line you're talking about.
Was it his fault?
I was going to be nicer than that. But yes, he's a good hand. I just know he's your boy, and I wasn't going to completely be like, yeah, he's just on my roster to lose to people that I actually give a shit about. But yeah, they went out and they had a good match. Got the crowd buzzing, which is good because actually they might have gotten the crowd buzzing a little early. Possibly I should have reversed the next match with this one. But we'll see how this pays off for me.
That's about... Swerve Stomp got it. That's cool.
The right move got it then. And then we got an dud of a segment, which makes me really wonder about some of the stats. Oh, geez. Omega struggled going off script.
They both struggled improvising.
That's not correct.
No, it's not.
Because this is a promo battle. And I watched you do this, so I don't know why this entered like this. But this was a promo battle between Kenny Omega and Don Callis, with Don coming out and running down Kenny and how terrible it was when he was managing Kenny, and Kenny insulting Don, how he did nothing for his career. And then Chris Jericho is supposed to come out and start fighting with Kenny Omega, and I watched Ryan enter the commands for that to happen. But for some reason, TEW has decided that Chris tripped and fell down in the back and never showed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we'll say that actually happened because I watched you do it, and I know that's kind of important for advancing the storyline.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but oh well. I guess if they struggled improvising anyway, this segment wouldn't have been that much better with Jericho.
Probably would have been worse putting Jericho in, but yeah, that's annoying because we even set...
We'll kayfabe it like Collision.
Yeah, I mean, it still happened in storyline because I have stuff booked based on Chris Jericho being there, so.
So just roll with us, pals.
And then we have our intercontinental. This is what happens when I've been talking about WWE with you. We have our international title, and it's Orange Cassidy taking on Buddy Matthews, and they get 10 minutes. Orange wins it with a La Magistral. And this is defense number 27 of the international title.
Yeah, because I put in accurate numbers for your reigns.
And it gained heat to make up for the match from the other angle that lost heat. This is mostly just trying to keep Orange's insane number of title defenses up.
Very even on performance, too, which is good.
That's what I was hoping for, because they should be about the same level.
Yeah.
But he's probably going to hold that title sometime in the future.
Oh, here we go.
And then we get a good segment involving them, where
Unlike real life.
They're pretty good on the mic. They get a lot of heat, but that's mostly based on people not liking what they do in ring.
Yeah.
Ruby unfortunately struggled, but that's
not surprising.
Actually kind of realistic. And good, it started picking the crowd back up. This was the three of them backstage complaining about losing to Britt and Jaime, and talking an awful lot of crap about them for someone who just lost. And they kind of get, as good-natured as those three ever get, bickering amongst themselves about whose fault it was. And it ends up with Tony Storm and Ruby Soho saying that they could do better than Saraya did, since Saraya ate the pin in that one. And so that they're planning on seeing if they can do something about that on Collision.
Ooh. Stay tuned for Collision.
And then we move on to our main event of the night.
Ooh, shit, nice.
I knew this was going to do good. We get a trios match with the Hungbucks taking on CM Punk and FTR. And this match gets pretty wild. Starts slow, builds up. The whole storyline's on the will they, won't they, about being respectful after Brawl Out last year. As things go on, the referee loses control. Things start getting crazier. Tables get brought out. Chairs get brought out. Everyone starts brawling. Nick gets thrown off a ladder and through a bunch of tables outside of the ring.
Everybody hears let the bodies hit the floor in their heads.
Yeah, everyone ends up brawling outside of the ring. And eventually, after 20 minutes, they get counted out because they have completely broken down, aren't paying the slightest bit of attention to the referee. And so the match ends up going in as a no contest because everyone just got counted out.
And we know how hard it is to get a count out in AEW. Ayo.
Yeah, so you know how nuts they were going. And we're going to have to get a conclusive end to this feud at some point in the future.
So stay tuned for that.
Possibly All In.
Whoa. The big boy show. And of course CM Punk's just better than everybody else, so, you know.
On an individual performance, that's probably correct.
Yeah.
Page looks like he was underrated, but and Harwood was definitely underrated, but everything else seems about right.
Jesus, yeah, they're
Although putting Dax Harwood in a wild brawl situation, I'm not that's probably realistic, even though this was entered as storytelling, not wild brawl, because you can't do a wild brawl for that long.
Yeah.
But Dax Harwood doing the worst on a match that went crazy hardcore makes sense.
Yeah. And that's where we finish the show. Oh, there we go. Nice. An overall of 58. Bill's AEW Dynamite increased popularity in 17 regions for the company and lost in 1, but that's really good. And pretty good show.
That one is probably southwest or southeast because it's the home territory. my overness would probably be the highest there.
Yeah. Either that or it's like
And
Maritimes Canada.
That's possible. I suspect people having to deal with TSN's new AEW distribution. Not that I'm bitter.
No, you never. So yes, that was
$8 a month so I can watch wrestling.
So that was AEW Dynamite. We will pause the recording here and be back with Friday Night Smackdown. So stay tuned.
See you soon.
Welcome back to Friday Night Smackdown, and I totally had this show fully thought out and planned ahead. So let's jump right in.
I took steps to prepare it by watching TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View 9 while Ryan was booking this.
Yeah.
Now anything they do will seem good.
I mean, this is about...
And I mean, an hour-long Santino Marella Iron match will seem good after this.
So to open the show, we have our Bloodline shtick going on. So this is Jey Uso comes out to the... Well, no, this will start with Roman and Solo in the ring with Paul Heyman. And Roman is talking about that he had to do what he had to do, and how him and Solo put Jimmy in the hospital last week. And then Jey will come out. He's saying, I've had enough of you. Blah, blah, blah. And he lays down a challenge for this Sunday at Money in the Bank. Him versus his cousin, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigs, for the WWE Undisputed Championship. And then he also wants Solo Sikoa tonight, and he's going to take Solo out of action so he can't interfere in their main event on Sunday. Jey Uso doesn't have the microphone skills to talk that long. Roman Reigns apparently doesn't either, which is a lie. Solo Sikoa underperformed, nice. Roman came across well at least, and enjoyed the freedom. And the angle did get the crowd hot, so I mean, that could have been worse. Okay, next up we have next in line who's challenging next match, the number one contenders match, whatever. Figuring out who is going to face Carlito for the United States Championship next week on SmackDown. After he returned last week and beat Austin Theory in an open challenge. So... Oh, and Terrible Wrestling, nice. This did alright. Mustafa Ali goes over the open and Grayson Waller with a 054, which is a inverted 450. So, yeah. Grayson Waller was off his game. That's not very nice. At least Wade Barrett and Michael Cole are getting along down on commentary, so that's cool. But, yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about the Terrible Wrestling note. That seems to be extremely common from the game, and I'm not sure what triggers it, because quite often you'll get good performances and they'll still call it terrible wrestling.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot too. Next out we get, oh nice, Bobby Lashley getting the crowd hotter here. Bobby's out here to cut a promo, and he's just pretty much saying that business is about to pick up. Kind of hinting.
That went better than I expected for 7 minutes with Bobby Lashley having a mic.
Yeah, he's just he's kind of teasing that the future is going to be bright for him, and that he has a plan to rise the ranks of WWE with a new faction, a new and improved. So, yeah. Next up, if you couldn't tell, I didn't have a lot of inspiration for this show. I just had the Bloodline stuff on this show, and that's all. This is just filler to give me the Money in the Bank, to get past Money in the Bank, so we can have more fun with this fucking thing. This match did better than I thought it would, yet also underperforming in ways at the same time, so that's pretty impressive. But Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar representing the LWO face Top Dollar and Ashanti Adonis from Hit Row. And they go over with Santos Escobar getting the pin on Ashanti Adonis with the Phantom Driver, his finish. Yeah, this was just a spotlight match for the LWO, to be quite frank, so because I have plans for them. So yeah, Ashanti Adonis seemed off his game, so he probably would have gotten like 35 pretty much normally. And Mysterios and the Santos don't work as a team. They're not a regular team. There's actual LWO members that are a regular team, but I just wanted to kind of give Santos the rub from Ray a little bit. B-Fab.
Good to know that they don't work well together before you've got them committed to an angle where it matters to.
Yeah, that is true. B-Fab did some good work at ringside, so that's cool. At least there's one useful hit row member. Then we have an angle with Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca Belair, which did really well, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Thank you, Lord. This is pretty much Charlotte and Bianca just going back and forth arguing about who's next in line to face the champion Asuka. Bianca says that Asuka fucking missed her to win the title, so she should get the next title shot. And Charlotte's just like, well, I'm a Flair, so I should get the next title shot. And
that is a very Charlotte argument.
And then Asuka's just like being entertaining and mocking them the whole time as they argue and kind of just going like baka like she does and whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and then Bianca Belair for Charlotte Flair takes place next, and this match ends in a no contest WDQ as Asuka runs in and attacks both the competitors in this match. Bianca was off her game, which sucks. But they have good chemistry, so that's good to know. That's actually great to know. Thank you, game. So yeah, not the worst. I have a feeling I'm going to lose popularity on the show, but okay. Next, we get a backstage interview with some members of the LWO. Kathy Kelly here to interview them. She asked Carlito about his great return to the WWE last week and winning the United States Championship on his first night back, taking the belt from Austin Theory, who had quite the reign. He responds that he thought the moment was pretty cool. He's glad to be back and with his brothers in the LWO. Rey Mysterio is asked about Carlito coming in, says he's happy to have him. They faced each other in the past. Now he's happy to have him by his side, type deal. And the LWO is looking stronger than ever. And Santos Escobar kind of gives the same response about the Carlito question, but it's also asked about his upcoming match at Money in the Bank, being in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and how he feels going into that. And he says he's very confident that he's going to walk out of Sunday as Mr. Money in the Bank, and it's going to bring even more gold to the Latino world over there. So that went pretty well. Kathy Kelly is a great interviewer and enjoyed the freedom to go off script. Carlito is getting better as a gimmick. All good stuff. Not really, because Santos and Ray struggled going off script, but, whatever. That's not too shocking, really. Solo Sikoa versus Jey Uso for our main event, which Jey Uso wins in 20 minutes by hitting his Uso splash. Jimmy, ignore that. Jimmy Uso wasn't at ringside.
Forgot to turn him off of
being a manager.
Managing, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But just ignore that headcanon. We're all allowed to have our collision moments, okay? But
I've done that before too, where I've got to turn people off.
This match was decent, but I would have liked to do a little better. But Solo's got room to improve, so it's not too shocking. Just didn't go the best, but it is whatever. It was serviceable. Oh, yeah, so Solo was used too much, and I lost popularity in 56 regions, so ouch. Had a 54 overall rating. That was the go home for Money in the Bank. I hope you buy the pay-per-view. Thank God it's on a streaming service.
I think the game accounts for that, too. I wouldn't be surprised if your Money in the Bank sales aren't great.
Yeah, well, I had 2 weeks to work with, and I didn't really want to book the show, but I did, so I don't care too much at this point. My shows will be more inspired going forward, now that we're going to be past Money in the Bank here soon, because I can actually get into what I want to do and not just kind of sticking to the format that of what they did, because I thought that worked best to start off. But yeah,
this is why I'm glad I had 6 weeks to work with.
So I think we're gonna continue on and get Collision in this episode at least. So we will.
Actually, I think we call it here.
Call it here, okay. That's also fine.
It's 7:00, and I have to get dinner.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, guys, we hope you enjoy this episode. We got a couple shows in here. Next time we will be back with Collision, and then we will get Money in the Bank in as well, and possibly Raw, depending on the time. We'll see, though.
Probably just Collision and Money in the Bank. Pay-per-views take a long time.
Not really, because I have it all booked out already. That's why I'm thinking we might actually be able to squeeze Raw.
Oh, if we can infit Raw too, that would be great.
So we'll just see what happens, though. But yeah, tune in on Bill's Collision. We're gonna see some. What did you build up? The Outcasts. Tune back for Collision to see what's going on with the Outcasts.
And there's probably going to be fallout from the Blackpool Combat Club attacking MJF and Cole.
That's beautiful too. And then tune in next time also for Money in the Bank 2023 to see how I have the show go. Anyway, guys, if you're watching this, this is only available on YouTube. Anyway, guys, if you're watching this and have made it to this point, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, even share if you would like to. And if you're not following us on Twitch, go to Twitch Crew616. I'll probably link it too. And give us a follow. We stream our game and stuff on there. We're planning to do a stream with Dan tomorrow, who's our other host for the Route 616 podcast, the main show on this channel. And Bill and I also stream our WCW run of TEW on there as well. But anyways, we will see you all later, and peace out.
Have a good one, everyone.